Hey ladies, I figured I'd give y'all a little bit of a different scenery. You've been seeing my bedroom for so long. I figure I'd take you back to the beginning of my videos where I was actually sitting on my living room couch. All right, so it is cycle 9, cycle day 13. Welcome back, it's Tamika TTC. I don't think I've introduced myself in a while. Man, I've just been going through so much. I think I've just been forgetting the basic things about these videos. So anyway, first things first, I wanted to use this time to show you guys that I actually did what I said I was going to do at the end of cycle 8, which I said I was going to do something fun. Now, the weekend that I did something fun, that video, my rant video about, how my RA's office lied to me about my pre-auth and all of that, that all kind of started that day. So it was like the day I went to the hairdresser. So I didn't want to post 2 videos in one day, so I kind of split this out. So now I want to show you what I did that weekend. I know I did mention in a previous video how I went to the movies and all of that. I'll explain, and then I'll show you a few clips. There were some opportunities to film that I just totally forgot. That was Super Bowl weekend, so I'll kind of just give you a play-by-play. So I went to the hairdresser, and then I left the hairdresser and I just randomly went to the movies and didn't know what I was going there to see, but was just trying to see if something was playing soon that I could just buy a ticket to. Sure enough, I was able to get a ticket to Jumanji, which was super duper cute. And so mind you, I was relaxed off my diet. So like I said, I had my nachos, I had my hot dog, and I planned to go to Red Lobster after the movie. But I didn't make it to Red Lobster because what you don't see in the clip is I spilled the nacho cheese sauce all over myself once I sat down in the theater. So thank goodness this movie has been out for a while. And it wasn't incredibly crowded. And it's crazy because I made it all the way to my seat and I sat down and I was comfortable, and for some reason I fumbled the tray that had the loose nacho cheese sauce, and it fell all over my left thigh, into my purse. Oh, it was just a mess. All of the nacho cheese sauce. Fortunately, I did grab a bunch of napkins, but this just wasn't enough napkins for all this cheese. And I just had nacho cheese sauce all over my jeans, and it ended up all over my top. It was just a mess. But you know what? I enjoyed the movie anyway. And when the movie was over, I tried to go to the bathroom to see if I could clean myself up a little bit. But they didn't have any paper towel. All they had was the air dryers. So I was just like, ugh. So I kind of like balled my shirt up a little bit. Fortunately, I had a really close parking space. And then I like booked it out of there into the car. And then came home. So my plan was to come home, change my clothes, clean up my purse, and then go back out to Red Lobster. So that actually just didn't happen. I was actually just tired, and I laid down, and before I knew it, the rest of the evening was gone. So I said I would go out to dinner and a movie the next day on Sunday, and this time I wanted to go to my favorite Italian restaurant, Carrabba's. And I said, I want to go to Carrabba's. And I knew which one I wanted to go to. And there's a movie theater over there, but it's not a Regal movie theater. And I have a Regal membership. So it's just like, whatever. So I just went back to the same theater that I saw Jumanji in, even though it was in a complete opposite direction. And I saw Den of Thieves, which is a really good action movie. Rated R, so if you got kids and you're taking your kids, don't take your kids to go see this one. It's rated R. But it's really, really good. Very good from beginning to end. Totally enjoyed it. And then I went to, now mind you, this is Super Bowl Sunday. It was still early though. I think the movie started at 4, like 3:55, but it was a 2-hour movie. So by the time I got out of the movie, it was, like 6 o'clock. And then I think by the time I got to Carrabba's, it was about 6:30, and they sat me by the bar. Now, I'm not a football fan, even though I'm from Philly and my Eagles were playing. I'm just not a football fan, and I had no intentions of watching the Super Bowl at all. But when I got to Carrabba's, they sat me in the bar section. Of course, the Super Bowl was on, so I was forced to watch it. They were already in the second, about halfway through the second quarter, so I was just kind of forced to watch it in a way. By the time I was done at Carrabba's, it was halftime, so I drove home. So I missed Justin Timberlake. I'm a fan of Justin Timberlake, but I didn't care. I didn't plan to watch any of it anyway. As far as my friends on Facebook, it was mixed reviews. He did good. You could throw it away like trash. I don't know. Maybe I'll look for it on YouTube or something. I'm sure somebody has a video clip of his performance. So when I came home, since now I feel like I'm vested in the game, my niece had left my TV on. She wasn't home, but she left the TV on. It was on for the game, so I just sat in here and I watched the rest of the game. And my Eagles won! They're Super Bowl champions for the first time ever since 1960 when the team came about. This is the first time ever. So this is such a long time coming. I just remember in middle school, my math teacher, Miss Linton, she's a huge Eagles fan. And my house director in middle school, he was also a huge Eagles fan. And I remember during that time, I forget exactly what year, but during the time that I was in middle school, they went to the Super Bowl that year as well, but they didn't win. And Philadelphia, we kind of get a hard time about our fans. We're very passionate there in Philadelphia, but I find Philadelphia fans to be very fickle. It's just kind of like, when the Eagles are winning and they're in the playoffs and they're going to the Super Bowl, everybody has like the little Eagles flags on their cars. You just see them everywhere driving around. And then when they lost the Super Bowl, the streets were just littered with these flags. Nobody was flying them anymore. Just very, very fickle fans. I'm not a fan of football at all. So, but I am a hometown girl, even though I don't live in Philadelphia anymore. I've been living here in Florida for over 12 years now. So, I will always root for the hometown team. So, Eagles fly, Eagles. Eagles! All right. So that is what I did to have some fun on that weekend, to try to just get back to me. As you can see, I'm in a much better mood than I was in that video, and then in my ranting videos and all of that. So I feel good. I feel refreshed. I know I said that I was starting my diet in my last video for my saline sonogram. I attempted to start that day. I didn't finish off. I started the day really well. I didn't finish off well. As a matter of fact, I didn't officially start, focusing hard on my weight loss until this past Friday. So today is Sunday. So today is only day 3. But I will say, from all the non-focusing, I had so much salt. I just felt so bloated. And I just knew I was retaining so much water. But I will say, in the last 2 days, I have lost 6 pounds of water and waste. Not very much waste, but mostly water. I've been peeing like crazy. So, a good diet will do that for you, right? Cool. So, I just wanted to, give you the blow by blow of, how the weekend went. And here are a few clips. All right, great. So now let's get into the meat and potatoes. I know I'm like 10 minutes in, but let's get into the meat and potatoes of this hair video. So this video, I wanted to talk to you about what I was going to do, what my plans were for doing this weight loss and attempting to lose this 40 pounds to get my BMI under 35. So the first things first is I'm changing my meal plan. It's actually a diet, and in this particular case, come on. In this particular case, it is the Dr. Phil 2020 diet here. Right? Can you see that? That's the 2020 diet. I'm gonna see if I can't get like, oh, there we go. Right? So it's the Dr. Phil 2020 diet. I've done this diet before, but you know, I've done many diets before, and this diet does work. He does incorporate food as well as exercise, but you know, when you're not really focused on weight loss, you just don't do the diet very long. His diet is 2020 because it focuses on 20 basic foods, and then it's like a 20-day diet. Now you can choose to repeat the diet, or you can just stay in the last phase of the diet. It's a 3-phase 20-day diet. It's very restrictive the first 5 days. So the first 5 days you are restricted to pretty much only the 20 foods, and I think there are 3 things that he allows you to season your food with. So that's cinnamon, lemon juice, and garlic. So I'm currently in phase 1, day 3. So it's very, very restrictive. However, I don't mind his diet. It's a lot of smoothies, a lot of vegetables. You're pretty much restricted to certain things. I want to say it is a low-carb diet, but it's not like an extreme low-carb diet, because you do get to have apple, and apple is considered a high-sugar fruit. So it does allow you to have apple, and then you have like rye crisps. So I guess if you're like gluten-free or something like that, this probably isn't good for you. But that's probably the most carb that you get in the first 5 days. After 5 days, it opens up a little bit more. I get to introduce chicken and other proteins. And then the second phase is 5 days. So the first 2 phases is 10 days, and then the last phase is 10 days. So in the last phase, I mean, it opens up completely. At some point you start to get avocado and all this great stuff. So the 20 foods that he focuses on here, and I'm just going to read off the foods. You can do your own research on the diet. Again, you saw that I have the 2020 book. And the book I got on Amazon Kindle. And let's see if I can get you the foods. So basically, each food has a purpose, right? So there's 20 foods. So now the foods with potential thermogenic properties. So these are foods that boost your dietary thermogenesis, which means it's going to help you metabolize. So the first one here is coconut oil, green tea, mustard, walnuts, and olive oil. So as you can see so far, this diet is pretty much foods that you probably already have in your pantry. Then the next set of foods are the foods that stick to your ribs. So these are the foods that are high in fiber and help you feel full longer. So almonds, apples, chickpeas, prunes, greens, any kind of leafy greens, lentils, natural peanut butter, pistachios, unsalted, of course, raisins, codfish, rye, tofu, whey protein, And then, oh, I think I missed something. Oh, eggs. Eggs is in here too. Eggs and yogurt. I think I missed yogurt. I missed yogurt somewhere in here. I was only looking at the ones that were in bold. So I think yogurt. Somehow I missed the yogurt. I don't know where I missed the yogurt at. Alright, so the thing about it is, he does also, when I've heard him talk about this diet on his show, or at least clips, you can like go to his show website and you'll see clips where they talk about his diet. And basically, yeah, yogurt, non-fat yogurt is also another food that sticks to your ribs. Yep. So basically, there's a recipe. So he's also worked with a nutritionist who is also a chef. So all the recipes in here taste really good. They're, like, despite the little bit of ingredients that's in this food, it's actually pretty flavorful and tasty. So I think there's also a recipe for every meal for 20 days. So you don't have to eat anything twice in the course of 20 days. Now, granted, there's going to be some things that you probably just don't like, and some things that you probably want to sort of modify or stay away from. So, for instance, the tofu, high estrogen, I'm staying away from the tofu, so I wouldn't eat that. If you're allergic to peanuts, you could have, walnuts or some other kind of nut if you're allergic to peanuts. There's also, he also talks about in the book what you can do to substitute certain things if you have allergies. And then he has sort of a high intensity interval training workout regimen, which includes cardio. One part is cardio and one part is resistance training. So the cardio is just kind of simple. You're just doing intervals. So it's whatever you're doing. So whether it's running, walking, riding a bike, whatever you do for a cardio, then you just do intervals. I think it's like 30-60 or 30-90 intervals. And then for the resistance training, he actually has like a list of exercises in this full body resistance training. So for me personally, I'm on the treadmill. I don't always do intervals on the treadmill, but sometimes I just walk because that's what I feel like doing. And then I'll do the resistance training because that's good. You got to build muscle. Also, the whey protein, instead of the whey protein, I've been using vegetable protein instead of the whey because my acupuncturist was telling me to kind of stay away from dairy. So that's what I've been trying to do. Been using a lot of almond milk. And if I wanted to go for yogurt, I've been doing like coconut milk yogurt. So I will substitute with that. And if anything in here has sugar in it, he wants it to be natural sugar and not artificial sugar. So that's the only thing. So without getting too deep into the diet itself, that's essentially how I'm going to be eating at least over the next 20 days. We will see how that works out for me, if I'm losing weight fast enough. If not, then, I may have to modify it or try something different. Now, I am doing this diet where he has you eat 4 meals a day, so it's 3 meals and a snack. He wants you to eat every 4 hours. Now, I am also still doing my intermittent fasting. So, when I talked about my intermittent fasting before, I said that I was doing an 8-16 split, and my 8 hours to eat was between 12 p.m. and 8 p.m. So a girlfriend of mine said that she saw an NBC Nightly News report, and this woman had lost a lot of weight, and basically she was essentially doing intermittent fasting, but she was eating the food earlier in the day. And the whole point in that is supposedly through some sleep studies, they've determined that you burn more fat in your sleep. So the idea is to go to bed with a completely empty stomach so that while you're sleeping, you're burning the most fat that you can burn and not trying to digest food. The idea of eating earlier in the day is that your body takes 3 to 5 hours to completely digest the food that you've eaten. So if I eat as late as 8 p.m., then the latest I can go to sleep is 1 o'clock in the morning, which doesn't work for me because I get up at 6:30 in the morning, right? So I'm not getting enough sleep. So my girlfriend was trying to convince me to eat from like 8 to 4. 4 o'clock is just too early for me to not put something else in my mouth. So I decided to do 9 to 5 just to see how that works. I have not been very successful with 9 to 5 because those are my working hours, and a lot of times I'm in back-to-back meetings, and it's really difficult. And a lot of times I don't even finish work until 6 or 7 o'clock. So 5 o'clock comes up really fast for me, and a lot of times I'm on the phone, I'm talking, and I don't even realize it's already 5:30 and I haven't had dinner. So I haven't been very successful at not eating after 5. I may need to maybe switch, maybe do a 10 to 6 kind of thing. I don't know. I'm not super duper strict on the 9 to 5 because what I will say, what I like about doing 9 to 5 is that I work out in the mornings. And so I am incredibly grateful to be able to eat something after my workouts instead of having to wait 3 hours before I can eat, which is what I was doing on the whole 12 to 8 thing. Also, I noticed that I was sort of hitting a plateau at the time that I switched to the 9 to 5, and the 9 to 5 blew me right through the plateau. So there is something to it. There's definitely something to it. I'm hating every bit of it, but there is definitely something to it. So that's what I'm doing. Now, as far as my workouts, I have a little bit of extra boost with that as well. And I have some of that with me. So, first thing here is I have these pants, right? These are actually, these particular pants are called Slim Hots, right? There you go. And basically what they are sauna pants, sauna, S-A-U-N-A, sauna pants. So they have neoprene on the inside. And I'm trying to say, this doesn't say how much neoprene is in this. Oh, it's got neoprene, polyester, and nylon. So the idea behind these pants, and these are umpire waist, so they come up. But I'm a big booty girl, so they don't come all the way up like they're supposed to. But basically, these are long pants, right? They come down to my ankles. They're kind of, I don't want to call them capri, but they're kind of capri. They don't come all the way down to the ankle. I think they come down to like my shin. And I'm short, but I got some pretty long legs. So yeah. So these, basically what it does is it helps you maintain your body heat, and so you sweat more. And also the neoprene helps with the condition of your skin, so it's supposed to help with cellulite and all that great stuff. So these are the pants. So I've been using the pants for some time. I also have a neoprene belt, which could be considered like a waist trainer, but it's basically a belt, a Velcro belt that I put on. That's neoprene. It holds in the heat. It does the same thing, so you sweat like crazy under it. I don't use the belt anymore because now I was using the belt. The belt was very successful. Only problem with the belt is, well, I got back fat. I got these wings and all this stuff under here, and the belt doesn't get all of that. And I realized that my back fat, like just above my bum, is really smooth, and there's like almost no fat there, and I attribute that to using the belt, the neoprene belt. So I'm like, wow, I need the same effect on my higher back fat. So I need to find a sauna shirt. which they have whole suits out there, but I don't want a whole suit. Then the other important thing that I was looking for in a sauna shirt is that it was open to the boobage area. Why? Because my boobs are small enough. I don't need to sweat them out. So they do have some that don't have the chest out, but I was specifically looking for the chest out. So here we have this one, right? And as you can, it zips up in the front, so you know, it covers the belly. And as you can see, it's very wide here, and then it kind of zips down here. So all the boobage, I don't know if you can, how well you can see that. So all the boobage is completely out. So I'm not sweating my boobs because, well, your boobs are fat, and I don't want to sweat my boobs because they're small enough, and they're going to get smaller as I lose weight too. Now, this shirt is short sleeves, so it comes to about here. And it does, this is neoprene as well, but it does have this mesh, so it's like breathable up under the arms and everything. Now this one fits really well, and I'll put links to where I bought these, because I got all of these on Amazon. The pants, I actually have 2 pairs of these, so I think these were relatively inexpensive, so they may have been maybe $20. The top, I think this was like $26, $27. But what I really wanted, because I have really big arms, what I really wanted was the same kind of top. Oh, I'm sitting on it. Sorry. But in long sleeve, right? So I got another one. This one's in long sleeve. Now, the only thing about this is it fits great around my belly because I bought it to fit my body. Unfortunately, I'm one of those women, this also has the chest out. Unfortunately, I'm one of those women that have really big arms, right? So it's kind of like I have to buy tops that fit my arms, but then it's usually really loose in the rest of the body because my arms are big and they cut those seams so tight. So so this has the long sleeve. It comes all the way down to your wrist, and this is my goal. I've actually tried this on, and I can actually get it on, but it's incredibly uncomfortable because my upper arms are a little too big for this. Everywhere else this thing fits perfectly. So I'm gonna hang on to this. I'm not gonna send it back because I do have this one with the short sleeves, so hopefully if I drop, you know, 5 or 7 pounds, I'll be able to get into this one with no problem. But I do feel like having put both of these on, this long sleeve one is, the neoprene is a little thicker. I feel like I got, in the time that I had it on, when I was trying it on, I felt like I got way more sweat out of this. I don't feel like I sweat like I was expecting to sweat in this particular one. Now, it could just be that because of the fabric here, that the fabric is absorbing the sweat, so I don't feel as wet. Because that's the other benefit to having these, is that you just don't feel as wet because the fabric absorbs your sweat, so that you don't feel all icky and squishy around. So these are called sauna suits. And when you think of a sauna suit, those who've been around for a while might remember like the silver plastic, like jogging suit type suits that didn't allow you to breathe and just caught all the water, and you'd be working out and it'd just be swishing around everywhere. It's the same concept, much better implementation. So I will say that I do sweat a lot in these pants here. And I only have experience with this particular brand of the pants. There are many different brands out there. I'm just going to put the links to the ones that I have because those are the ones I can give you. But I'm very, very happy with these. There was another brand that I purchased of the shirt, and it was long sleeve, and it also had the chest out. and it only cost like $13. But that one took a little bit longer in shipping, so I haven't received it yet. Maybe I'll come back on here and let you guys know how that is, but you know, you usually get what you pay for, so I don't know if that one will be any good, but I just figured it was $12. I should try it out, and we'll see how that goes. These all pretty much had really good reviews on Amazon, so you know, if you're looking for a way to kick up your workouts, get a sauna suit. You will not regret it. The other thing that I'm doing, and I've been doing this for some time, is dry brushing. Yes, dry brushing. As a matter of fact, hang on a second. Okay, I'm back. I forgot the brush. So I took a cruise last year for my birthday, and I spent a lot of time in the spa. And this was April. It was pretty much after my sister had passed. I had gotten my niece finally in her apartment, and I was preparing to start this journey, and this cruise was sort of my first break from almost a year of you know, the stress and dealing with my sister being in the hospital and her passing, and just trying to help my niece transition. And so I got a cellulite treatment, and they, of course, they always want to sell you something, right? So they sold me the algae, and the algae came with like these lotions and everything, and it also came with this dry brush. So that's what the Elemis is. This is the dry brush. Now, I think in that little package, I think that package cost me like $300 or something like that, and this brush was like $40. But this is a dry brush. Now, considering that this brush cost me $40, I've had other brushes, and I have to say the bristles on this brush don't even compare to the cheaper ones that I've seen in like Walmart and everything. These bristles are so firm. So I think you can get like a regular brush, but you probably would have to replace it. So the idea behind the dry brushing is that I always thought the brush was something that you use in the shower, especially when it had a handle. This one actually has a removable handle, right? So I can use this, but if I, you know, don't want to bend over for my legs, I can use the handle. So this was really good. And they do the dry brushing a lot on the cruise, because I had the cellulite treatment where she did the dry brushing, and basically what she told me, she said, "Do you know what dry brushing is for?" And I said, "Yeah, it's for exfoliation." She said, "Yeah, it's a little bit more than that." So it's for exfoliation, but if you do it right, you can also stimulate your lymphatic system and help your body detoxify, right? And I've been doing this since the cruise. I mean, I got the brush, I might as well do it, right? So how you use the algae came in these little ampules, and it was liquid. So you take a shower, you would, well, not while you're wet, you take a shower, you kind of towel off, and then you would dry brush from basically from your legs up. It's also good for cellulite as well, in the direction of your heart. So you would dry brush all the areas that you were going to put the algae on, and the point in the algae is to help burn fat. So she was very adamant about, you know, not using it on the boobs, because it would burn fat in the boobs as well. So basically you brush your legs upwards, you brush your arms backwards, you've got lymph nodes here as well, so you can brush your neck, but always in the direction of your heart, right? Always in the direction of your heart, belly, your booty, anywhere where you have cellulite or extra fat or skin or whatever, where you have lymph nodes, because you do have lymph nodes in your legs. You have them under your arms, so I would like brush up under here too. You have them like right above your belly button. You've got a couple of lymph nodes in your belly, and you've got some in your neck as well. So basically, you want to try to stimulate those lymph nodes as much as you can, but remember to brush in the direction of your heart. So if you're up here, you brush down. For your arms, since they're lower, you brush up the arms, and up the legs, and if, you're here on the chest, and I would like brush this way, for, those lymph nodes, and then brush here and all of that. Now, the reason why I bring this up now, and I haven't brought this up before, is because I was watching a video recently on the Natural Fertility Info channel, and she was saying all the things that you could do to help detoxify your body, and she brought up the dry brushing. And I was just like, oh wow, I've been doing this for so long, I didn't even realize this was helping my fertility as well. So this is something very simple. You can go to your nearest Walmart, Walgreens, or whatever, and pick up a dry brush. Now in her video, and I'm going to link her video here, and in that video, she suggested doing the dry brushing before you get in the shower. I do mine after I come out of the shower. And I will say there is definitely something to this. As a matter of fact, when I was on the cruise and I got a massage, she actually dry brushed me for like 10 minutes before she did the massage. And this was a totally different lady than who sold me the brush, right? And basically she was saying that, dry brushing, 10 minutes of dry brushing is like the equivalent of, a half hour or hour in the gym. That's what she said. Now, I don't know if she was putting a little extra stank on it. I don't know about the science behind it and all of that. But there are some incredible benefits to dry brushing. Now, I've bought brushes like this before, but I've used them in the shower wet. I never thought to use it dry. So, maybe I just didn't know what to do with it. So, now I know what to do with it. Dry brush. It does feel a little rough. But you don't have to be rough, you just want to kind of stimulate your skin and everything. I will say, my legs are really smooth, my arms, everything feels really smooth, after, and I pee a lot. And that's definitely the lymphatic system, because the whole idea is to, kind of cleanse the liver, and you stimulate the lymphatic system. All of that sort of runs through the liver, so it helps your liver help your body to detoxify. So everything will run. So the idea of doing it with the algae is so that the algae could run through the lymphatic system, so that all the particles can go where they need to go to burn the fat or release the acid that surrounds the fat that keeps you from burning it. So that was the whole point in that. However, I'm so glad I ran out of the ampules, because I didn't even realize that it had a whole bunch of caffeine in it, and it was driving my blood pressure through the roof. And I'm not a caffeine drinker, so can't have my blood pressure going through the roof. I was going to the doctor's office. I'm trying to lose weight. I'm using what was left of my ampules from the cruise, and couldn't understand for the life of me why my blood pressure was so off the chain, and it ended up being those ampules, but I used them all because I paid for them, you know what I mean? But I feel like they did me some good. I definitely had a lot more energy, but that probably had something to do with all the caffeine and everything that's in it. So dry brush. Get yourself a dry brush. All right, so we're about 38 minutes in. That's about it. So this is how I'm going to lose my weight between now and my egg retrieval. And we will see how it goes. If I decide to change up my diet a month in, because like I said, I want to try it for a month. I'm going to do the 20 days since I didn't start until the 8th, which was Friday. I'm going to do the 20 days on the Dr. Phil 2020 diet, and see how well I did. If I did well, then I'll start the 2020 diet all over again for next month, and that'll be for March. And hopefully I'll continue to lose really good weight then. So I will check in with you guys again on where my weight is for at the end of the 20 days. So it'll be 20 days well, about 17 days from the time you see this video, right? Now, if I decide to change, I'll let you know that I'm going to change and do something else. If I'm going to change things up a little bit, because your body does get used to what you're doing, and eventually you start to plateau. So, my Hail Mary is extreme low carb in the last month. So, I like carbs. So I really don't want to go extreme low carb. But if I can make things work with this Dr. Phil diet, because I really don't mind the diet at all. And the foods that, we're allowed to eat here, I don't mind it at all. And then I will keep doing that. The only thing that's difficult is I have to cook more on this diet, and I just don't know how well it's going to work for me with trying to eat between 9 to 5 and, sticking to it, because that's why I was doing the healthy choice meals before. But if I find out that, I lose, then I may take a break and go back to the healthy choice meals in between. Just to, or maybe if I can find some healthy choice meals that fit within the Dr. Phil diet, then, I'll do that. But all the meals are really quick to eat. They take 30 minutes or less to prepare. So, that works. And, just some sort of set it and forget it type deals there. So I'm excited to do this. And like I said, in just the 2 days, I have dropped 6 pounds, a total of 6 pounds of water and waste in just 2 days. And that's just 2 days on the phase 1 of the diet. But, I know I was retaining a lot of water. I could feel it, in my body. The scale, I think, had me up. I hate to say this, but the scale had me up to, because when I talked to you before, I said I was like 251.4 or something like that. When I weighed in on Friday, I think I was like 254.6. Yeah. It was bad, 254.6, but I know all of that was like water retention, because I could feel I could see my ankles were a little swollen. I could feel the extra water on my right knee, because I've been feeling a lot of pulling on my right knee, so I knew I was retaining a lot of water. But as of this morning, I was back down to 249. So was that 6 pounds? It was 249 even, so almost 6 pounds. 54. Yeah, almost 6 pounds, just like 5.5 pounds in the last 2 days. So my lowest weight recorded, I think, is like 245 and some change, 245.4 or something like that. So I'm looking forward to dropping this 3 pounds and getting back to that lowest weight, and then keep going. And, it's all success, because, I started the weight loss challenge at 270.2. So I'm still maintaining good weight loss. I'm still maintaining the 20 pounds. But it's time to drop some more. So that's what I'm doing. All right, ladies. So I've talked enough. It's been an hour. Hopefully you enjoyed the fun. I'm going to continue the fun. I have some other cool things that are coming up. I won't tell you exactly what they are. I may have mentioned this, that my acupuncturist suggested it, but if I didn't, then I'll talk about it in that video. But she suggested something to me to enhance relaxation, and I found it on Groupon, and I just need to make my appointment and get it done, and I will try to film as much as I can of it so that you guys can see. All right, well, that's all I have for today. Sticky baby dust to all those TTC. Remember, 2018 is our year. It is baby or bust for me in 2018, so I will see you all later, and check in with you when I can. All right. Bye-bye.